Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty cool, how you can grow a truly endless supply of one of the world's absolute favorite herbs, basil. And believe me, it's way easier than you think. It really just comes down to a few simple but powerful techniques.
I mean, basil is a staple in kitchens everywhere, for a good reason, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is that the secret to a thriving, super productive plant isn't complicated at all. You just have to understand what this amazing herb truly wants. So first things first, what exactly is basil? It's so much more than just a tasty leaf for your pasta. It's a really fascinating plant with a pretty rich history. You know, it's part of the mint family, which kind of explains that vigorous, almost unstoppable growth habit it has. It's originally a tropical plant that's basically adapted to grow all over the world. We grow it for its incredible leaves, and the whole game, as you're about to see, is to keep it focused on making more leaves and stop it from flowering.
Okay, let's get you started. There are two main ways to begin your basil journey, plus a really clever shortcut that can give you a huge head start. So, you can totally start from seeds, it's super rewarding, but it does take a little bit of patience. Or, if you already have a plant, or hey, know someone who does, you can just take cuttings. You literally put a stem in a glass of water, and in about a week, bam, you have a brand new rooted plant. It feels like a little bit of garden magic.
But here it is, a pro gardener's hack that can turn one tiny purchase into an entire garden of basil, and it costs less than a single packet of seeds.
You know that single pot of basil you buy at the grocery store? Yeah, that's not one plant, not even close. It's usually dozens of individual seedlings all crowded together. All you have to do is gently tease them apart and give each one its own pot. You've just multiplied your investment by 10, 20, even 30 times. One pot becomes an instant basil farm.
Okay, now that you've got your plants, keeping them thriving is actually really simple once you understand the three things they absolutely need. Remember, it's a tropical plant, so just think: sun, warmth, and the right amount of water.
Basil is a total sun worshiper. It wants at least 6 hours of sun a day, and it absolutely loves the heat. But, and this is a big but, in the peak of summer, that intense direct sun can actually scorch the leaves. A great little trick is to plant it near taller plants, like tomatoes, which give it a bit of dappled shade during the hottest part of the day.
Now, soil. This is a crucial balancing act. Basil's roots are pretty sensitive. They hate being bone dry, but they also hate being waterlogged. So what you need is a rich potting mix that can hold on to moisture, but also drains really well. Look for mixes with plenty of compost for nutrients, and maybe something like perlite to keep it nice and airy. This is exactly why containers are perfect for basil. You can control the soil and make sure it has those essential drainage holes.
Okay, rule number 1 for watering: ditch the daily schedule. Seriously, the best way to know when to water is to just stick your finger 1 inch into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time. And here's a fantastic tip: water from the bottom. This lets the roots soak up exactly what they need without flooding the topsoil, and it is a major game changer for preventing root rot.
All right, now for what I think is the most important part of this whole explainer. This is the one technique that changes everything. This is how you turn one plant into a bush that produces all season long.
So what is the secret to getting a truly endless harvest? You know, most people think the goal is to gently pick off a few leaves here and there when you need them for cooking, but the real secret to a huge, bushy plant is, well, it's the exact opposite. So here's the crucial point. I need you to stop picking individual leaves. Instead, you're going to start pruning the stems. I know it sounds wrong, but harvesting single leaves actually weakens the plant over time and encourages it to get all tall and leggy. To get that never-ending supply, you have to be bold. You have to start cutting the stems. And here's the simple magic behind it. Find a spot on the stem where a pair of leaves is growing out. That's called a node. You're going to cut the main stem just above that node. In response, the plant is going to send out 2 brand new stems from that exact spot. You see, you've just turned one stem into 2. A single cut literally doubles your future harvest.
This aggressive harvesting does 2 amazing things. First, it forces the plant to grow bushy instead of just tall and skinny. And second, it delays bolting. That's the plant's natural instinct to make flowers and seeds. Once basil flowers, the leaf flavor changes and production just stops. Pruning keeps the plant in a perpetual state of making delicious leaves for you.
Okay, just a quick heads up before we dive into mastering your basil garden. This explainer is for informational purposes only. So for any specific health or nutritional advice, please be sure to consult a professional.
Now that you've unlocked the pruning secret, you are already way ahead of the game. So let's explore a few pro techniques to really fine-tune your harvest and make sure you have basil whenever you want it, all season long and maybe even into the winter.
Here is a very clever way to play with time. Try planting your basil in different light conditions. The plants in full sun will grow like crazy, giving you a fast, early harvest. But that intense light also signals them to flower sooner. The ones in dappled shade will grow a little slower, but they'll last much longer into the season, giving you this staggered, continuous supply.
Even the healthiest basil plant can attract a few, let's call them, unwelcome guests. You'll want to look out for aphids, those tiny insects that love to cluster on the undersides of leaves. You might also see damage from slugs or certain beetles. But don't worry, the solutions are super simple and totally organic.
Honestly, good air circulation is your best defense because it keeps the leaves dry and helps prevent fungal issues like powdery mildew from ever getting started. If pests do show up, a simple spray of soapy water is highly effective against them. For tougher issues, neem oil acts as a natural repellent, all without any harsh chemicals.
And to make your supply truly never-ending, you don't have to say goodbye when the first frost hits. Just dig up your healthiest, youngest plant, pop it in a container, and bring it inside. Let it adjust for a few days in a sheltered spot outside first, then move it to your sunniest window. It can provide you with fresh leaves all winter long.
Remember, the biggest takeaway here is that harvesting basil correctly isn't just about taking from the plant, it's about making it stronger. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but frequent, proper pruning is exactly what makes the plant more vigorous and way more productive.
So why does all this matter? Because that one little pot of basil at the supermarket isn't just an ingredient for tonight's dinner. It's a ticket to an endless supply of fresh flavor. By treating it not as something to be consumed, but as something to be cultivated, you unlock one of the most rewarding secrets in the garden. The question isn't just what will you cook, it's how much will you grow?